Hi, so I'm going to show you how you can use these pom-pom makers to make yourself some cute little pom-poms of various sizes. And then you can put them together to make the pom-pom garland that I showed you at the beginning. So, as I say, there are 4 sizes of these, and just to give you an idea of the kind of pom-pom that comes out at the other end, this green one makes a pom-pom this size, which is pretty big, to be fair. One of the ones that comes off of there is absolutely enormous. So that's that size. And then one of these comes off the yellow. Yeah, so little teeny tiny pom-pom, kind of fairly decent sized pom-pom. The green one's pretty big and the pink one's absolutely enormous. They also get heavier as well. So this is a bit too big to put on a hat like the Christmas hat we're doing and things like that, because it's just a bit too weighty. So what I'm going to do is show you how to make a pom-pom using one of these pom-pom makers that we sell in store. So I'm going to grab some red yarn. This is a double knit. You can use any weight of yarn that you like. A double knit gives you a kind of a slightly fluffier looking pom-pom, but it takes a bit longer than using a thicker yarn like a chunky or something like that. So the pom-pom maker itself is in 2 halves, and it has these little legs that pop out, one on one side and 2 others on the other side. The whole thing comes apart at the end for you to be able to take your pom-pom off. But just to begin, we're going to start with 2 of the legs out, and you're just going to take your yarn, hold it against the side and wrap around a few times just to secure, and then you're good to go. And you're honestly just wrapping around, so it's not hard. And then squeeze it into the end and go around from one side to the other. Try and make it as even as you can, but it doesn't really matter. It all sorts itself out in the end. So as I say, this kind of yarn takes a little bit longer, but you can always hold a couple of strands together if you like, rather than just doing one strand. And if you use different colours, you can get a different kind of effect as well, which is really nice. So just to give you an idea, this is just a strand of red and a strand of white held together as you wrap. This one, you do red and white on one side, and then on the other side you do green and white, and you get kind of a half and half pom-pom. And then with this one, I held a red, a white and a green together at the same time. So, like I say, you can either make it easier for yourself by just holding a couple of strands of the same colour together, so it goes together quicker, or you can hold a couple of strands of different colours together as well, which looks really nice. But it's very simply done. You just wrap round and round and round. I remember making loads of pom-poms when I was a kid, maybe 9 or 10 years old. We didn't have pom-pom makers, we just used pieces of cardboard, and you can do that, but it's much more fiddly because you have to pass the wool through the kind of middle. It's like a hole cut out in the centre of it, and it's really fiddly to do. But we got obsessed and we made loads of them one summer, I remember. So it's definitely something you can do with the kids. There we go. So that's the first one done. So once the semicircle in the middle is kind of filled up, that's your pom-pom done. So then we're going to close that up and trim that off. Get myself a bit more yarn ready to go, and then you're going to open up the other side, hold the yarn against the leg again, and just wrap around a few times to tighten it up, and then go for it. Oh, so obviously the smaller pom-pom makers give you a smaller pom-pom, but it does make the pom-pom a lot quicker. The bigger ones do take a lot longer, and they do tend to use quite a lot of yarn as well. So I actually went through my whole ball of green yarn just making pom-poms pretty much, and a bit of a hat. So they're a bit yarn hungry, but thankfully this Stylecraft Special is not very expensive, so it's a good cheap way of making these lovely little cute pom-poms. And whether you use them at Christmas for Christmas decorations, or whether you make them as decorations for kids' rooms or just to have around the house, because they're quite fun and colourful, and obviously because they're fairly quick and easy to make, you can change out the colours for the different seasons as well. So you could do kind of orange and brown ones for the autumn. You could maybe do kind of pink and yellow and spring greens for spring, and nice bright yellows for the summer. It's entirely up to you. Obviously at Christmas it's got to be a bit of red and green, hasn't it? There we go. So second side is now, I would say, full. Chop that, and then cut your yarn. Then you're going to cut yourself a piece of yarn that's maybe 40 centimetres long, something like that, and then pop it in half. Take your pom-pom, you need a really sharp pair of scissors for this, and then in between the two sides you're just going to cut them apart like that, and then onto the other side. Good sharp scissors really do make a difference here, otherwise you can feel like you're hacking at it and not getting anywhere. There we go. So once it's separated, what you're going to do is take your yarn and lay it in between the two sides, and then pull, come back round to the other side and tie yourself your first little knot and pull that really nice and tight. Then I like to flip it over, bring my yarn back round to the first side, and then tie a proper double knot. So one, and like I say, give it a good tug, and then two. Then you're going to pop up the legs on one side, turn it over, pop up the legs, get that tangled around it, on the other side, and then you can pull the pom-pom maker apart, pop that back together again for the next one, grab the two tails, give it a good shake, and then you'll see there are a few straggly bits that are a different length, so you can just go around with your scissors. This bit's quite pleasing and just give it a little haircut. Just to even it out a little bit all around. It's not got to be perfect, but just so you haven't got any obviously different length pieces, it just looks a little bit nicer. There we go. And that's your pom-pom done. You've got a couple of options now. You can either use the yarn that you wrapped around it to tie it onto something with if you want to hang it from something, or you can chop the ends off and turn it into a garland, which is what we're doing. There we go. So if I show you how this works, so this is the garland that I am making at the moment, and you can string the balls onto a piece of yarn and then move them around to your heart's kind of content really as to where you want them to be, so they'll hang and look kind of cute and Christmassy. So all you're going to need is a darning needle, so that's a blunt ended knitter's darning needle with a large eye so that you can get the yarn through it. Thread that up, and then you very simply just thread your pom-pom onto it. Now the thing is with your pom-pom, if you remember we tied the yarn around the centre of it, what you've got to go is go through that centre. So the easiest way to do it is to kind of feel, and you'll feel there, that feels like the centre with yarn going around here, and I can feel I've got kind of a centre here. So I'm going to take my darning needle and just pop it straight through there, so it's gone round the yarn. So the yarn we used to tie it with is going to be around here, and then you just thread it on. There we go. You can tie a knot either side if you don't want it to move, but it doesn't tend to slip and slide down the yarn. It just kind of stays there because the yarn is quite grabby. So put on as many as you like in whichever order that you like, and then you can hang them up and enjoy them this Christmas. There we go. See you soon. Bye.